Holobaugh lands a big right hand there, and all Dos Santos could do was just put his guard up and continue to take these strikes. And Holobaugh just continued to land. And right here, if you're not intelligently defending yourself, the referee's got to come in there and stop and help you out.
What's up, Fight House fans? We're back, and we got Kurt Holobaugh on the line. How you doing, Kurt? How's everything going? Welcome to the Fight House.
Thank you, man. Doing great.
Nice. How's camp and everything, man? How's the weight and everything coming along?
Oh, fantastic. I'm walking around, under 170 pounds right now. So, the weight's fantastic. Training's been really great. I'm a little sore here and there, but, that's training camp.
Sweet. You got a real tough fight coming up against Cavalcante. How's everything? How's preparations been, man? How are you feeling with camp?
I'm feeling great. I think my style matches up with his really well, and I think it's a really good fight for me.
Absolutely, man. I noticed you bounced back and forth between 145 and 155 here and there. Which one do you feel more comfortable at?
I'm going to say I'm more comfortable at 155 pounds. Just fighting at 145 pounds has kind of taken a toll on me the last couple of times I made the cut. I walk around at about 180 pounds, so cutting down to 145 pounds, yeah, it's pretty rough sometimes.
I bet it is, man. So it took you about 2 years to work your way back to that title fight now. How does it feel to be back competing for a title with Titan?
I like it. I feel that I really belong at the top in, whatever organization that I'm fighting in. I showed up and I had to fight on a couple undercards, and I felt that I deserved to be on a main card, and I deserved to be fighting for for something like a title, either a headline or a title. So I didn't like it, but I know I took a loss, had to work my way back up, and I know I've done that. So I'm back on the main card and in the co-main event slot.
Absolutely, man. And your opponent, Cavalcante, he's been up and down. He hasn't been able to put together, back-to-back victories since 2007, but a majority of his losses have come against really stiff competition. What do you know about him, and how do you feel like you match up against him?
Yeah, I know a lot about JayZ. I fought on the same card with him, a couple times now. And I've been knowing he was a future matchup for me. And I've also been watching him, just over the years. And yeah, you can't look at any of his losses and say, hey, he lost to this guy or lost to that guy. Everybody that he's beat it with has all been high-level guys and top guys all around the world. So, it's a really tough fight, and I'm expecting, the best JayZ ever. I know he wants to come out and, get back on a winning streak, and at the same time, so do I. I want to keep mine rolling.
Absolutely, man. Where do you feel like your advantages are in this fight? Like, where do you think you'll enjoy the most advantage?
I think the advantage is going to be the speed difference. I was really fast at featherweight, and even bumping up to lightweight, I don't feel like I've lost any speed at all. So, I think my movement's going to be really good, and my speed's going to be key.
Being as though you'll be fighting at more of like a natural weight class for yourself, is pace going to be a huge thing for you in this fight? Are you going to try to push the pace on them, break them? How do you feel at 155 like that? That's one of your strengths.
Absolutely, and that's how I kind of see the fight going. I'm gonna push the pace in later rounds, and when I see an opening, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna blast him. So, in the later rounds, I'm expecting to get a referee stoppage.
And which round are you predicting? A referee stoppage, sorry?
I'm going to go with the third round. I felt really strong in my last fight in the third round. And if I could pick up that pace a little more than what he was been used to in the first two rounds, I think I can put it on him and, like I said, force the referee to jump in and stop it.
And this is for an interim title, correct?
Yeah, it's actually for an interim title. The actual Titan FC 155-pound champion is Freddie Assunção.
Yeah.
And, I've heard rumors of him maybe not even competing back at lightweight. I know he's a natural featherweight. You want to go back down, which, I have no problem with that. JayZ is an incredible opponent and definitely title worthy.
Definitely. After this fight, do you feel like you're gonna have you'll have another fight ahead of you? Like, what do you feel is in the future for you? Maybe the UFC? Are you looking at other options? What do you feel is next?
I think a UFC call will come after this fight. I'm pretty sure after the last 2 wins, I got 2 good finishes, and if I can go in and do the same thing against a guy like JayZ Cavalcante, there's no reason why the UFC don't look and see, hey, this guy's definitely gotten way better than he was the previous time that I fought for the UFC. So, and they seen what I did back then. I put on a really exciting fight back at UFC 159, and I was still a rookie. But I got all this experience, and I've been fighting these big name guys and other organizations such as Titan, and I would be a world champion for the second time in Titan. So, I definitely see them, bringing me back.
Is making it to the UFC and kind of getting back there now that you're a vet and you got a bunch more fights under your belt, is that something that you really want to get there and like set things right? Is it a personal thing, or is it just like, hey, this is
absolutely? I think it is. I think that I didn't get a fair shot in the UFC. Normally, a guy can lose 3 fights before he's cut, but I only lost 1, and I'm pretty sure it's because they just brought all the fighters over from Strikeforce. And I know they had the rosters packed up, and they was looking to cut, probably all the guys on losing streak. So,
when you look at
it's a little bit personal.
When you look at the current landscape in their 55 division, how do you feel like you stack up there?
I feel like I'm most definitely one of the best in the world, and my record and everything that I've done speaks for itself. I think I match up with every 55er in the UFC and 45er. I match up with all of them really well. And, all I need is a shot to prove that.
It's kind of a good time to be a mixed martial artist right now. There's, you're starting to get more and more options for yourself and more doors to open. Would Bellator or something like that be an option for you if the UFC didn't call? Like, you see the moves they're making, they're kind of, they're closing that gap a little bit between themselves and the UFC. Right. Is that something you start to look at as being a viable option?
Yeah, I kind of think it. Is. Bellator's growing. They're stacking the roster up. They're taking a lot of guys from the UFC. And if the price is right, I'm just looking to support my family. However, in whatever organization that it's in, it doesn't necessarily have to be the UFC. Of course, the UFC is still mainstream. They're still the biggest organization out there. But if they offer me a big chunk of money, why not take it? Who wouldn't take it?
Absolutely. One of the other things I'm asking all the fighters that we have on tonight, because it's pretty interesting to me, just the layout of it, is this new PFL, the Professional Fighters League that's coming out from the collapse of the World Series of Fighting. How much do you know about that?
I don't know a whole bunch about it. I hadn't even really got down in it. I've been, more focused on, this Titan FC card and, preparing for JayZ, that I really hadn't had a chance to sit down and read what it's all about. But, it kind of sounds interesting. They was talking about getting paid monthly or something like that. And like I said, it all depends on what that monthly payment would be to make that worth it.
Well, the one thing that was interesting to me, and the reason I was asking is because, like, fighter pay is always something that's being talked about. It's always something being discussed as, fighters don't get paid enough money. And they're offering $1 million prize to whoever wins the championship at the end of the year. The winner would walk away with $1 million in each division. And that starts to become something that's very appealing when you're looking to get paid, right?
Oh, no, that's most definitely worth it. So, yeah, absolutely. If to walk away with $1 million prize, that sets you up for life if you use it right. So, and I know a guy like me, that'll set me up and my kids up. So the $1 million prize would be fantastic.
But right now, like you said, you have Cavalcante in front of you, and that's a big challenge. It's a big mountain to climb. What do you feel like you're going to have to do really well to walk out of there with the win when you look at his skill set? Like, okay, I'm going to have to be really on point, watch my P's and Q's here. What are you going to have to do well to walk out with the W?
I'm going to have to push him. I'm going to have to push him and push him hard. Push him and, watch out for the big right hand that he likes to throw. As long as I don't get caught with anything early in the round, I'll definitely see the fight going my way.
Beautiful, man. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for taking some time to come and talk to us here at the Fight House, and I wish you all the luck in the world in the fight. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be an exciting one. And hopefully we can talk again, man. Have you back on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. You have a great night. Talk to you soon.
Yep, you too. Thank you.
All right.